The United States, I would argue, is somewhere between the social responsibility and libertarian models for mass media. Remember that the internet has changed the barriers to entry in mass media. You don't need a degree to become a blogger. You don't really need anything to become a podcaster, right? You can just go out and do it. And I would argue that being socially responsible doesn't always pay the bills. It's expensive to gather news and to reflect all sides. It's a lot cheaper to just flap your gums and give your opinion. And news organizations can sort of struggle with the answers. To put a bow on this, there are a couple of criticisms. One is it's not really a theory. Remember, in science, real theories are used to predict. This theory does little more than just try to explain things. Doesn't really mention the audience. Remember, audiences are not passive. They are actively seeking media. And later on, we're going to talk about uses and gratifications and how that describes how mass media affects society. And there are obviously other types of governments, right? Asian lands have a concern with the notion of harmony in certain societies. None of these theories considers that. It's essentially a Western theory that doesn't really take into account some of the ideals of other countries. The bottom line, however, is that ultimately the media model that a nation have often reflects the nation that it's in, and vice versa. In America, there's an interrelationship between media and government. The government has some legal control over some media at some times. Other times, government's trying to influence media to present a positive message. Meanwhile, mass media and news media in America have an interrelationship with the government as well. Some media organizations need governmental approval to use the public airwaves and operate. Others need the government for information and for their news stories. And there's that adversarial relationship with government in which media take their job seriously to be a check on government and other powers. It's complicated, but that's the fun of it. When you travel to other nations, you go to their grocery stores, because if you want to know how people live, you look at how and where they buy food. It's the same with mass media. Media tend to take the form of social and political structures where they are located. And to understand a government and the people who live under that government, you have to understand the mass media in that country.